this is Jeff Sutherland. It's John Wayne, Rooster Cogburn. We're here on the fourth and final day at the Harvest Fair, having a real good time. And tonight is the Michael Martin Murphey concert. We're going to look forward to that. And here is a festival that's been going on for 29 years, and these folks live the West. They have a good time. There's good spirit here. They had good campfires at night, and these folks are dedicated. And they're dedicated to relive the West, and I'm very proud of all of them. And our stagecoach driver here today is
Flo Jones.
Flo Jones, very much knowledge. Loved listening to him last night at the campfire. He knew a lot about the cattle drive and the chuck wagon. And boy, there's one here made by Studebaker, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Could not believe it, and it's all refurbished, and it looks just like it came out of rawhide. And we're having a good time here, and he is going to be our stagecoach driver, and by a couple of mules, right?
Yes, sir. Pair of mollies, sugar and spice.
Okay, so we're going to take off a little bit here, and you can videotape us as we travel along.
Stage leaving.
Stage leaving.
Walk out.
Stage leaving. Yo. Wagon. Yo.
To Montana. Did a lot of my growing up in Montana and Great Falls. Moved down here to California in '63. Been here ever since. Good place to be.
Good place to be. And you know, it's fun how people get involved and people relive and bring it back to us. And you know, it brings really a fantasy to a new generation of young kids.
Well, that's what we try to do, is keep our history alive. We're gonna get by the band here.
Get by the band.
Great band. People dancing out front. But it's up to people like ourselves to keep the history alive, teach our children today, because as everybody should know, yesterday is history.
Yes.
Tomorrow's the new day.
Boy, that's well said. And you know, we live in the richest heritage and country in the world, the United States of America. And countries like England, Japan, and Europe, they've always been envious of our Western heritage. And here we have it. And it's not enough for us to take care of it. We got to always remember what heritage we came from.
That is true. That is very, very true.
Now, why are we being pulled by mules instead of horses?
Mules have a little more stamina, and they were hardier than horses on a stagecoach. A lot of people think horses pulled every stagecoach. Test. But the mules did a lot of pulling in the West. They came out from Kentucky and back east. They're just a hardier animal. They could graze on anything around the countryside. They forage for themselves better. They don't drink as much water. They don't need as much water throughout the day. And they're a little more better temperamented in my book. I've always been a mule man, so I'm kind of partial.
Now, you know, a lot of our fans don't realize how important the mules and the jackasses was in the West. Now, tell our audience a little bit how important. You know, they knew that Festus had one, but in all the Westerns, it's always depicting the horses, but it doesn't talk a lot about the mules. Tell our audience how important the mules were in the Old West and the 49ers, what it meant to them.
Well, back in the 49, when the gold was discovered out here at Sutter's Mill, the burros, the donkeys and whatnot, were highly sought by the miners because they could pack their wares in, their tents, their pans. They could pack out their ore, pack out their gold. Like I said, they're hardier, they're a more sure-footed animal. A lot of the rocks and area, their hooves are smaller, and a lot of people don't realize is a donkey and mules walk toe to heel, not like a horse walks heel to toe, or flat-footed. That gives them, they can feel what's gonna hit their foot before they step down on it.
Now, is a rumor there's always been like they were very stubborn to get going in the morning, or is that just nonsense?
They all have their little quirks and their own little attitudes. My mules here, Sugar and Spice, they've never been a problem in the mornings. They love to go to work. They love to work all day long, but they will tell you when they're not feeling good. They get a little fussy. They might throw a little cow kick at you, but they never have kicked me seriously. But I know the day is coming that I may get a good swift kick. The other day, Sugar let me have a little cow kick in my upper thigh, but just enough to push me around a bit. She didn't leave a bruise or anything. She just let me know that she wasn't feeling good. And the same with donkeys and burros. You know, they can be a little fussy.
Well, I tell you what, this is a wonderful way to get footage here at the Harvest Fair 2009. And there's no way better than getting on top of a stagecoach and videotaping all the action. I want to thank you for coming on. And I want to thank you for the wonderful campfire last night, and God bless you.
That was amazing, wasn't
it? And if there's one thing that you could say about the Harvest Fair in a nutshell, what would you say?
Very entertaining, very historically correct. You don't see a lot of plastic things around here. You don't see a lot of metal objects. Ken Joswick that puts this thing together does his very best, does an excellent job on keeping our event, his event, purely correct.
And we want to thank the gentleman, Slim Callahan, for letting us know about it. And we want to thank all the nice folks. And I tell you what, you want to talk about the nicest folks that you ever want to meet. You come down to the Harvest Fair in 2010, and you'll see these folks next November. And it is a 4-day event, 2 weekends. And look at the website, you'll find it, the Harvest Fair. And we want to thank you for being on.
Thank you again, Rooster, and I want to thank G&F Carriages and George Libben and George Jr. down here for allowing us to do this out here.
God bless you. Okay, we'll be back with more of the 2010 Harvest Fair next year, and we're going to celebrate the last day, the 4th and final day of 2009 Harvest Fair. So stay tuned for more. We have a lot more coming up, a lot more entertainment, and to finish it off later on tonight, Michael Martin Murphy. So stay tuned.